What's up, Amazon Masters, and welcome back to this three-part series on winning with PPC on Amazon in 2019. If you want to learn the step-by-step of how I run campaigns that get me results like this and this and this, make sure you stick around until the end, as today I'm giving you the foundational structure upon which I build these campaigns. High converting, high revenue, low ACOS advertising campaigns on Amazon. I'm giving you the secrets of the structure that I use for it today. And if you want to grow your business on Amazon so that you can free up some of your time to do the things which you love the most, make sure you do hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, because I promise you in 2019 this content is only going to get better. So good to have you on the journey. Now let's get into the video. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Get ready because this one is going to be another information packed video. Get ready, it's going to be really hopefully helpful for you and help you structure really effective and profitable scalable PPC campaigns for your Amazon business. Last episode we talked all about the basics of PPC. If you haven't watched that episode yet, it is up here, and just take a look at that before you watch this video so this video makes sense. And yeah, check that one out before you check this one out. But we talked all about the basics of PPC. Today we're going to talk about the structure, how to structure effective campaigns, because how you structure your campaigns is so important for many different reasons, which we'll talk about in a moment. And then the next episode, the final part, is all going to be all about optimization. How can I, on a continual basis, optimize my campaigns to make sure that they are remaining profitable, that they are always growing in revenue, that they are becoming more and more profitable over time. So that's going to be the third part, so make sure you do keep your eyes open, notification bell turned on for when that one drops. All right, but let's talk about structure today. Episode 2, about structure. Let's quickly do a quick recap about the things from episode 1 that really are pertinent to our discussions today. Though the first thing is, we discussed in the first episode about bids, about how the auction system that Amazon employs for its advertising. And how this works is that when we create PPC campaigns, we can decide how much we want to bid to for a click on the Amazon platform. For instance, if we are selling yoga mats, we may put into the Amazon system that we are willing to pay up to £1 for the keyword yoga mat, and that would then become our maximum bid for a click. Remember, it's pay per click, we're not paying to be shown. We only pay when someone clicks on our advertisement. But what that bid actually does is it works in an auction system. You may have 100 people, there'll probably be more when it comes to yoga mats, but when you would have maybe 100 different businesses all bidding for the term, the keyword yoga mat. And so what Amazon does is it looks at not only this, it looks at another number of other factors too, but the main factor that it looks at is the bid amount. So you may be bidding £1, but somebody else may be bidding £1.20 or £1.50 or £2 for that keyword, to be shown for that keyword. And so whilst they are in budget for their marketing campaign on that particular day, they will often be shown above you in the advertising space. And so what we need to do, understanding this, is structure our campaigns in the way that we can bid the highest amount we can possibly bid, so we win as much of the traffic as possible, yet still remain profitable, or at worst break even. Again, remember, depending on the purposes behind why we're using PPC at this current time. If you don't remember that, go back to the first video where we talked about the purposes, because if you're trying to rank a product or launch a product with PPC, then profitability or breaking even might not be your first concern, just the visibility of your product is. That will make sense from video 1. But if our purpose with this, which long term it is to really just maintain rank and break even, or even better, profit from these campaigns, then our goal has to be to get these bids as high as we possibly can while still remaining profitable. So when we understand that this is how the Amazon system works, that it is an auction system, this really does influence how we structure our campaigns, because we know that Amazon is going to give the visibility to different keywords based upon a bid structure. And what's also important to know is that Amazon works on a rolling day basis, so your budgets for your advertising campaigns will be reset at the beginning of every single day. And what happens, obviously, especially right now we're in the middle of Q4, and what can happen is that advertising budgets can get spent up really quick, especially if you're bidding £1 for a keyword and you've got a budget of £10 for that day. And if you max out on those bids, if you have to pay full price for those clicks, of course you're only going to get in the region of 10 clicks each day, and then your budget's going to have run out. And so what that then creates the opportunity for us, if we don't want to bid as high, is that when other people's budgets run out, then our lower bids can then actually begin to take position on the rankings. So we'll explain that a little bit more as we go through this, but there's a little kind of overview of how the bidding system, the auction system works with Amazon. Any questions about that? If I haven't explained that in a way that makes total sense to you, please make sure you do drop a comment below. Let's engage in the comments below. I'd love to start a conversation with you and help you on this, because it is really, PPC is one of those subjects that is really analytical, it's really data driven, but it can be a lot to get your head around at the start. So I'm trying to give you an overview with this series, definitely not going as deep as I could, but you know, I've actually got a training program called the Amazon Masters, which I do go into a lot more detail on PPC within. The link is in the description below. And within that training program, I also do run through showing me actually physically setting up a PPC campaign live in my computer. So there's a whole bunch of different things in there that will really help you. Super cheap at the moment, half price, discounted like ridiculous, the most ridiculous discount for such an in-depth course. But my heart is just to help as much as I can whilst being able to actually dedicate time to it, which is why I sort of charge for that premium level of stuff. So, but the link is in the description if you did want to take a look. But let's go on to talk about the overview of the structure of our campaigns. See, what most people are teaching about PPC structure is ineffective. I won't say wrong, because it's not necessarily wrong, but it's nowhere near as effective as it could be. How most people are teaching PPC is they start with one automatic campaign, and then once your automatic campaign has been running for a week to 2 weeks, is then pull the data from your Amazon search term report, see what search terms are converting, and then create keywords from those search terms in a manual campaign. And now I've got a few issues with this. Number one is there are so many tools available to us on the market today that we really don't have to wait to know which keywords are going to be relevant to our product. We can actually find data within so many of the tools available to us that we can begin those manual campaigns instantly. And the second thing is it's very limiting, because it actually takes a lot of time for those automatic, especially if you are bidding, say, you know, £1 for a keyword, and that your budget is £10 a day, you're only going to get a limited amount of data through it. It's going to take a long time to really work out what are those high converting, profitable keywords for you. So our solution is either do a really high budget automatic campaign, or is to structure things a little bit differently and a lot more effectively, because this type of structure, I would suggest to you, has extremely limited effectiveness, because all you're doing is you're testing just small elements of what you can test, and there is so much more possibility in this for you. So let's look at how I would recommend you structure your PPC campaigns the best way. Of course, that is subjective, that's my opinion, but this is how I've done it, and I've spent tens of thousands of pounds on PPC over my time advertising on Amazon, and this is how I've structured my campaigns and got those ACOS levels that you've seen before. You know, several campaigns doing high turnover, under 20% ACOS, and this is how I structure my campaigns. You ready for it? All right, here you go. This is the ultimate structure that I would suggest to you to use for your PPC campaigns. You see here on this bottom level, we have it's like a, you know, building blocks that build upon each other. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have the building block of a discovery campaign first, and then you want to have a testing campaign that lies on top of that, and then a winning campaign that lies right at the top. All right, so we're going to take a look at these right now and show you exactly what I mean when I talk about building the structure of your campaigns. So you see what we've got here at the base level is our discovery campaign. What I didn't have room to put in here is that this bottom campaign is your automatic targeting campaign, whereas the targeting for both of these top two, the testing and the winning campaigns, are both manual. And so what we want to do is we want to start with the discovery campaign first and make it an automatic campaign. And then what I would suggest is then also creating a testing campaign and a winning campaign straight away. In our testing campaign, we want to test some words that we know are relevant to our product. You can find that from tools like Helium 10, of which there's a link in the description below for you to check out. You can look at keywords.io, you can look at Google Search Term Planner, you can look at a bunch of different tools. I would recommend trying to use one that has accurate Amazon data wherever possible, but whatever you can find, just finding those keywords that are relevant to your product by putting them into the testing campaign. And then with your winning campaign, when you create that initially, the best practice is to put your brand name in there as a keyword, just as a placeholder for now, and I'll explain how you're then going to populate that with keywords in the future. And so once you've got this structure in place, you've got your three campaigns. I would name them the name of your product, and then in brackets discovery, testing and winning, or your versions of those names, whatever works for you. And then within those campaigns, you are going to want to have ad groups for each. See down here that's listed on the side, you want to have an ad group for each SKU and for each match type. Let me explain that for a moment. So for instance, if you just have one product, no variations, this is going to be much easier for you. If you've ever wondered how do I run PPC with variations, you're about to find out. But if you just have one variation, much easier, because all you need to do is to do one ad group for each match type. So you do a phrase ad group, you do a exact ad group, and you do a broad ad group. Whereas if you've got variations, say you've got a blue and a red product, you're going to need to do blue phrase, blue exact, blue broad, red phrase, red exact, red broad, right? And then you're going to have 6 ad groups within the one campaign. If you have 3 variations, 9 ad groups. 4 variations, 12 ad groups. So it does get difficult the more variations you have, which is why I would recommend starting simple with 1 or 2 variations and build it from there. So you're going to want to have in your discovery campaign, because it is only broad, there's no broad phrase and exact within an automatic campaign, it's only broad. So you're just going to want to have 1 per SKU, as it says here. There's no match type ad groups. You want to have, so you're going to end up, if you have, say 2 variations, you're going to have 3 ad groups in the discovery campaign, 6 ad groups in your testing campaign, and 6 ad groups in the winning campaign. And now listen, this might sound confusing to begin with, but it's really important you structure it in the right way in order to give you clear and detailed reporting and analysis, which we'll talk about in a moment. And so then let's take a look from the going from left to right now. The budget for each of these is as follows. With your discovery campaign, your automatic campaign, you're going to want to keep the budget of that relatively low. Our purpose with this one is not a highly profitable sales. Our purpose with this one is to really discover what are the keywords, what are the search terms that Amazon is placing our product in front of to customers. What does Amazon think about the relevancy of our product and our advertising, and also potentially some new search terms that customers are searching that our software tools haven't shown us and we haven't thought about. That's the idea behind our discovery campaign. It's just this continual keyword harvesting campaign that gives us data, it gives us ideas, and it gives us real important key metrics like that. The next level up is our testing campaign, which our budget is a little higher than the discovery campaign. For instance, potentially you're using £10 a day for your discovery campaign, then you might want to try £15 a day for your testing campaign, or £20 a day. Of course, you have to work out how much this is going to cost over time, and you're going to want to keep a close eye on this if you start doing higher budgets, because it can get expensive if you don't have things right. So do keep an eye on it, but as a suggested figure, maybe something like that. And then of course your winning campaign, really that ultimate goal with this is to scale this as high as we can possibly go whilst keeping it profitable, and of course the ultimate situation is staying in stock. And so your winning campaign would want to be higher than the others, because what we ultimately want to do is treat this like a funnel, and we want to try and get as much of our ad spend as possible running through the winning campaign. Why? Is because we will have tested this, and we only place in that winning campaign the keywords that are converting and converting profitably. And so this brings us on to bids, and this is how we utilize the auction system of Amazon. Again, really important that we place our highest bids in the winning campaign. You see how I've structured this like a base level for discovery, next up testing, and then next up winning. The reason is because we want all the traffic to come down the funnel like this. And so maybe we're selling yoga mats. We might bid in our winning campaign £2 for yoga mat, because we know we've tested it, we know that it converts, we know it's profitable, we know we can just keep on bringing in revenue if we keep getting that, winning that bid for that product. So you may want to dominate the listings with your advertising there, and so you put the highest bid in the winning campaign. But what you want to do is, if you do have the same keyword in other campaigns, you're going to want to make sure the bid is lower every time you step down this structure. Here's the thing, right? Some people will tell you, when you're learning about PPC and advertising, some people will tell you that actually when you put a keyword into your winning campaign, or a campaign that's not your automatic campaign, then you want to create a negative exact match for that keyword in your other campaigns, which means that they will never be shown in those other campaigns. I've got a couple of problems with that. First one is, like I say, having spent tens of thousands of pounds on this advertising, I've never done a negative exact match because I placed a keyword in another campaign and never ever had a problem. And the second reason is this, is because often what you'll find is, I'm getting this every day at the moment in Q4, is like my budget keeps running out earlier every single day, having to keep increasing it at the moment because shopping is going crazy on Amazon right now. And when this budget gets used up, what then happens is your keywords will then start to show using this campaign. For instance, I get this is hard and a lot of information, and you might need to go back and watch this a bit more, but for instance, if you are bidding £2 for your yoga mat and you're in your winning campaign, and your winning campaign budget gets obliterated by 9 a.m. and you've been bidding there at £2 for that yoga mat, hopefully you would have got some sales for that. What will actually happen then for your keyword yoga mat is that Amazon will actually show it on the next level down. So for instance, in your testing campaign, you may have yoga mat and you're bidding £1.50 for it, and whilst you may not win the auction as many times, you may not appear at the top of the page as many times, you will actually find that later on in the day, as other people's budgets run out and other people aren't bidding as much, that gradually those £1.50 bids may also start to appear. And then maybe you might run out of budget on your testing campaign, and then you're only bidding £1, for instance, in your discovery campaign, and you may also then find that you still show for that same keyword for an even cheaper amount later on in that day. I hope that makes sense, but the idea behind this is that that you're always in the game, and that later on in the day, or when that budget does run out, you're still in the game for that keyword, for when that price does come down later in the day. I hope that makes sense. Again, any questions, please do let me know. Try and explain this as best as I can. And then our focus with each of these campaigns is as follows. Our discovery campaign focus is broad. It's literally automatic targeting. It's set as broad by default. You can't change that. It is as broad as it comes. Whereas our focus with our testing campaign is medium. We want to go for quite a lot of keywords, potentially 100 per ad group, or as many as you can really find. We want to test as many as we can, but we are defining the keywords that we're going after. It's not literally open sesame on Amazon's advertising doors. And then finally, our winning campaign at the top of this structure, our focus is narrow. Keywords only go in to the winning campaign once we have tested and proven that they are profitable. So what we're going to be testing during this testing phase is two things. We're going to be, of course, testing the keywords, but also testing the match type. It's really important that we understand this, and it's really important that we continue these keywords up this funnel once we've tested the match type. Again, this is another reason why the one auto campaign and the one manual campaign falls down, is because you do not test match type. And what I have found after much testing is that some keywords actually perform far better using phrase match than they do exact match, or broad match than they do phrase match, and vice versa, and all around we go. And so what it's really important to do is to test each SKU, each variation of your product, because again, your blue product may perform better under phrase match for a certain keyword, whereas your red product might perform better for exact match under a certain keyword. Again, I hope that makes sense, but it's important to test the product against a keyword and also a match type. And once you can go into your reports, which we'll look at in the next episode when we look at optimization, once you can look at your reports and you can see that you're getting 5, 6, 7, 8 sales attributed to one certain keyword and one certain match type in your testing campaign, then you can place it into your winning campaign and really then scale the budget up on that keyword that you know is going to be profitable, that you know is going to give you a good return, and ultimately is going to make you a whole bunch of profit. So the benefits that these things give us, number one is control. We get to control what we are showing for using this approach. If you just turn on an automatic advertising campaign, you've got zero control other than the budget and the bidding, which really is not much control when Amazon is, let's just say, being hungry to spend your Amazon advertising budget. It gives us, this structure gives us control. We control how much we're bidding, when we're showing, what we're showing for, and is essential to help us to control that budget and produce profitable campaigns. Also, it really does help with analysis. What we do by setting up this structure, when we go into our reports, we can really drill down into each individual ad group, into each individual phrase, into each individual keyword. It really does give us the ability to analyze this really well. The last thing you want to do is be placing multiple products in the same ad group, or trying to do multiple aspects of testing within the same campaign. It's just not going to work as effectively as if we streamline everything as I've shown you in this video. And of course, the profitability that comes from this is so much easier to achieve when we understand how we harvest those keywords and bring them up that funnel in order to really nail down on the ones that are working and working best, and really drive as much budget as we can into that winning campaign. And then finally, it gives us the benefit of having that aspect of continual discovery. Our PPC campaign, unfortunately, is not something that we just set and forget. It does get easier with time, and over time it does take less and less time to really optimize and implement all of these things once you set it up. But it is something that we can continue to discover new things, continue to test, continue to analyze the data, and it really does help us to continually improve what we're doing and grow our profitability. So that is my recommendation on how to structure your PPC campaigns. As I've said, it is an overview, and I haven't actually gone into the campaign and shown you setting one up and all that kind of stuff. It really is meant to be an overview. Don't want to sort of flood you too much information, especially for beginners. Even these first two videos, there's so much information to take in. I just want to encourage you, try and understand the concept. There may be things you don't understand when starting out. I didn't understand this when starting out, but it's a journey we go on. It's a progress we go on, and these things are building blocks that will really help you build a successful business. As I've said before, I do have a program below, the Amazon Masters, which is really I've distilled everything that I've learned over the last few years and put it into a course to really help people to grow a business on Amazon that does free up their time to live the life they've always dreamed of, and I would love to help you do that. In the Amazon Masters, we do go into much more detail about PPC, various other different types of marketing, show you a whole bunch of live things of me setting stuff up, but way more than just the content, which is, by the way, like 16 modules, over 100 videos, over 10 hours of content, top level content. But beyond that, you get my support, you get access to a whole bunch of resources that I use within my business. So I trust you'll find it super, super valuable. If you want more information, you can check out the information below. So like I say, I hope that helps with your PPC journey. It's not an easy one, but thankfully it is one that is driven by data and can be understood when we do give ourselves to learning about it. And remember, this business is just like any other business, that the more you learn, the more you're going to earn. So I'd encourage you, just keep working on this, keep learning about this, keep having that appetite to grow in your ability to run and grow your business, because I promise you the opportunities to sell on Amazon is better than it's ever been. We're at ground level when it comes to selling, especially on Amazon in the UK and Europe. Things are only going to get better. The sky is the limit. So don't hold back, don't wait, learn all you can. can, grow all you can, and invest yourself in an incredible opportunity with this business model. I'll be back with episode 3, optimization, in this Winning with PPC series in the next few days, and I can't wait to see you soon. If you do want to learn more and keep up to date with the journey, make sure you do hit my face below, hit that subscribe button. Would love you to join the family, would love you to be involved in this content. And if it has helped in any way, make sure you do hit that like button too, so as many people can see this as possible and it can help them build profitable PPC campaigns. All right, I will see you in the next video. See you real soon.